Some stories only work when you control them. Today, we're counting down 13 story-driven games that Hollywood could never truly adapt because their power comes from the player. Her story. A mystery told through fragments. Her story turns you into the investigator of a decades-old murder case. Instead of cutscenes or linear storytelling, the entire narrative unfolds through police interview clips. You search a database using keywords, slowly piecing together the truth yourself. No movie could replicate this experience because the story only works when you connect the clues, because the narrative exists inside your curiosity. One of the most unique storytelling experiments in gaming.
This is the third day running you've called me in. Hurt someone. You think it's murder? I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a game that argues with you. The Stanley Parable is a story about choice, control, and the illusion of freedom. A narrator tells you what Stanley is supposed to do, but you can ignore him completely. Every decision leads to bizarre outcomes, philosophical jokes, and existential commentary. A film could never recreate this dynamic because the story is literally built around the player rebelling against it, because the game reacts to you. Meta storytelling at its absolute best.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-lifting, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley was...
Return of the Obra Dinn, a ghost ship full of secrets. Return of the Obra Dinn is a mystery where you investigate the deaths of an entire ship crew using a magical pocket watch that reveals their final moments. You reconstruct identities, motives, and tragedies piece by piece. The brilliance comes from deduction, something movies can't replicate the same way, because solving the mystery is the story. One of the smartest narrative games ever made.
May take exactly what I give you!
Outer Wilds, a universe stuck in a time loop. Outer Wilds tells a cosmic story about curiosity, extinction, and knowledge. You explore a solar system trapped in a 22-minute time loop, slowly uncovering the truth about an ancient civilization and the fate of the universe. The story unfolds through exploration and discovery, not traditional narrative. A movie could show the events, but it could never recreate the feeling of personally discovering them, because understanding is the reward. a once-in-a-generation storytelling experience. Papers, Please. Glory to Arstitska. Papers, Please tells a story about morality through bureaucracy. You play an immigration officer deciding who can cross the border. Each decision affects families, criminals, and your own survival. The emotional weight comes from your choices, letting someone through or denying them. In a movie, the decisions would belong to a character. Here, they belong to you, because you feel responsible. A simple concept with massive emotional impact.
Welcome to the border. I know the wall isn't there, but we're working on it. Don't worry, your president is just here to watch you work. I'm like a brother. Big brother watching you, that's what I am. Courts say we can't discriminate against browns, and that is why we will be painting them purple.
No, not the choice. No,
You're not getting paid in money or at all. We're not doing vaccines anymore. I heard that they cause Australia or something.
Undertale, a game that remembers everything. Undertale flips traditional RPG storytelling by allowing you to finish the game without killing anyone. But the real twist is how the game remembers your actions across playthroughs. Characters react to past timelines, breaking traditional narrative rules. That level of meta storytelling simply can't be translated into film, because your choices rewrite the story. A deeply personal RPG experience. If you think these stories are unique, the top 5 get even more impossible to adapt. Talos Principle, a puzzle game about existence. The Talos Principle mixes philosophical storytelling with environmental puzzles. Through terminals and conversations, the game explores consciousness, religion, and artificial intelligence. The story evolves depending on how curious you are. A movie could explain the ideas, but it couldn't replicate the intellectual journey, because philosophy becomes gameplay. One of gaming's most thought-provoking narratives.
Will you be our children? Will you love us for having created you? Will the world you build be like ours, or so different that today we cannot even imagine it?
Step into the light, child.
Is there anything that we associate more closely with intelligence than curiosity? Our mythologies are full of riddles and mysteries and divine knowledge.
My child, you may go freely to all the worlds of my garden. But if the tower tempts you...
Immortality, a mystery hidden in film history. Immortality asks you to investigate the disappearance of an actress by exploring footage from 3 unfinished films. You pause, rewind, and match visual clues to uncover hidden connections. The story exists inside the editing process itself. No film could replicate the way the player literally controls the narrative flow, because discovery drives the story. A groundbreaking narrative experiment.
Breaker, do you mind reading this out for us?
Now, marvelous magic will turn the next 60 seconds into a commercial.
To our star, our gorgeous, la bellissima Marissa Marcel. What is your name?
Marissa Marcel.
Did we get it right?
Give us a turn.
Pentiment, a murder mystery across generations. Pentiment unfolds like an interactive medieval manuscript. You investigate a murder, but the real story spans decades, showing how choices ripple through history. Characters age, communities change, and the truth evolves. The player's decisions shape history itself, because time reveals consequences. A beautifully written historical drama. Sentinels Aegis Rim. 13 stories, one mind-bending truth. Sentinels weaves together 13 protagonists across different timelines. The narrative jumps between perspectives, gradually revealing a complex sci-fi mystery. The player controls the order of discovery, piecing together the timeline like a puzzle. A film adaptation would lose the magic of that structure, because you assemble the story yourself. One of the most ambitious narratives in gaming.
Man, look at him.
Wow, this really says it all.
I can hardly believe my eyes.
If that was real, we gotta tell everyone.
This is my Sentinel. Oh, gotcha!
Now you're talking.
All right!
Kentucky Route Zero, a road that shouldn't exist. Kentucky Route Zero is surreal, poetic, and deeply human. The game explores debt, loss, and fading communities through magical realism. Dialogue choices shape tone, meaning, and character interpretation. It feels like interactive literature, not traditional storytelling, because meaning comes from participation, a haunting narrative journey. Forgotten City, a city trapped by sin. In the Forgotten City, you're stuck in a Roman city where one person's sin turns everyone to gold. To escape, you must investigate citizens and manipulate a time loop to uncover the truth. The narrative unfolds based on your investigations and choices. A movie could show the story, but it couldn't recreate the detective work, because morality becomes a puzzle, a brilliant narrative mystery.
I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. Take a look at this wondrous place. Complete strangers brought together by the fates to live out our days in a paradise we can never leave. And in all our time together, not a single crime has been committed. Our bond is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die.
Inscryption, a card game hiding something terrifying. Inscryption begins as a dark card game in a mysterious cabin, but slowly the game begins breaking its own rules, shifting genres, revealing secrets, and rewriting its own narrative. The story evolves in ways that rely entirely on player interaction. By the end, it becomes something completely unexpected, because the game constantly reinvents itself, one of the most creative storytelling experiences ever made. Some stories belong to cinema, but these stories only work in games. Which game story do you think Hollywood could never adapt? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. And click here for 13 story games that will leave you empty inside. See you in the next video.